Hello everyone, welcome back to Short Times. In today's episode, I will be recapping the 2020 film An American Pickle. The film begins in the small Eastern European town of Slupsk in 1990. Herschel Greenbaum, played by Seth Rogen, is seen working as a laborer. He is shown digging a ditch using a shovel that eventually breaks not once but twice. The first time, the handle breaks off, and the second time, the blade splits lengthwise. Despite these setbacks, Herschel does not complain or give up, and instead continues his work. Following that at the market, Herschel Greenbaum becomes enamored with Sarah, who works at a fish peddler's table. Despite her poverty, Sarah remains hopeful, but Herschel is moved to action. He doubles his workload and uses the extra money to buy Sarah the best fish from the peddler's table. Sarah is grateful for the gesture and begins to eat the fish, an act that endears her to Herschel. As they continue to meet, Herschel and Sarah develop a deep love for each other. After that, Herschel and Sarah get married, but their wedding is tragically disrupted by invading Cossacks who kill all their loved ones. The couple is left with nothing and decides to move to America, hoping for a better life. Despite the hardships they face, Sarah becomes pregnant with their child, and Herschel starts working at a pickle factory, where he is paid only a nickel for every 10 rats he kills. Herschel works hard and manages to save enough money to buy Sarah the family plot she had always wanted. Following that, in a dramatic turn of events, Herschel finds himself cornered by a pack of rats while standing on a ledge one day. He falls backward into a vat of pickles, which seals instantly, trapping him inside. Meanwhile, the factory manager announces to the workers that the factory has been condemned and they must evacuate immediately. Herschel is left inside the pickle vat, where he remains preserved for 100 years. After 10 years, two boys play with a drone that flies into the old pickle factory. The drone bumps into the vat, knocking off the lid and revealing Herschel still alive inside. Herschel is taken to a press conference, where a doctor confirms that the pickle brine kept him preserved for a century. As Herschel tries to adjust to this new era, he is saddened to learn that his beloved Sarah has long since passed away. He struggles to comprehend the world he now finds himself in and its many technological advancements. However, his life takes another unexpected turn when the doctor discovers that Herschel has a living relative, his great-grandson named Ben. Following that, Herschel and Ben finally meet, both amazed and grateful to find they still have a living family. Ben brings Herschel back to his apartment, where he tries to introduce him to modern technology and music. Ben shows Herschel his seltzer water-making machine, which Herschel tastes for the first time. As they talk, Herschel asks why there are no pictures of his family around. Ben brings out a photo album and shows Herschel pictures of his past relatives, including Sarah and Herschel's son Mort. Herschel learns that Mort had a son named David, who married Susan and became Ben's parents. Sadly, they both passed away in a car accident. Herschel asks Ben about his work, and he reveals that he's a freelance app developer. He's been working on an app called BoopBop for 5 years, which is designed to scan products and determine the ethics of the company's practices. Herschel is impressed with the idea and starts to see the value in some modern technology. Herschel asks Ben to take him to Sarah's grave, and together they embark on a journey to find it. After a while, they finally reach the family plot. Herschel is saddened to see that the area is under a bridge near a rusty billboard that drips sludge onto Sarah's tombstone. Herschel feels that this is not a fitting resting place for his beloved Sarah. As they are standing there, a group of men arrive to put up a vodka billboard, and Herschel mistakenly thinks they are Cossacks. He engages in a fight with them, but Ben tries to intervene and gets punched in the process. Herschel and Ben end up getting arrested, and Ben pays their bail. However, he is angry at Herschel for getting him involved in such a situation. Following that, Ben sets up a meeting with an investor named Liam to potentially buy BoopBop. However, Liam tells Ben that they cannot fund the app after his arrest because an app that determines ethics would not look good under someone with a criminal record. Herschel suggests that they start a pickle business to earn enough money to buy the billboard and tear it down. But Ben rejects the idea and Herschel himself, saying that Sarah would be ashamed to see him. Furious, Herschel disowns Ben and sets off to make it on his own. Herschel is desperate for money to start his pickle business, so he resorts to digging cucumbers out of a dumpster and using rainwater and a bag of salt to create the brine. He begins selling the pickles on a cart and catches the attention of a couple, Christian and Kevin, who mistake Herschel's pickles for artisanal ones. Despite the strong smell, they are intrigued and help spread the word about Herschel's pickles, which become a hit. Meanwhile, Ben is still trying to get Boop Bop back on track, but he becomes angry and jealous when he sees Herschel's success. In an act of revenge, he calls the health department to shut down Herschel's stand after learning that the cucumbers are from a dumpster. In order to help Herschel get back on his feet, Christian and Kevin come up with the idea of hiring interns who will work for free. Herschel takes their advice and brings on several interns to help with pickling, packaging, and sales. Meanwhile, Ben continues to struggle with his app. With the help of the interns, Herschel is able to get his business back up and running. And he even earns enough money to purchase the billboard that has been bothering Sarah's grave. Herschel proudly brings the billboard to Ben's apartment to show off his victory, but Ben is not impressed and tells Herschel to leave. When Herschel makes a thoughtless comment, Ben suggests that he start a Twitter account to promote his business. Later, Herschel creates a Twitter account and Clara, his intern, helps him with his posts. However, the posts are offensive and controversial, insulting various groups of people. Even though Clara is uncomfortable with it, Herschel insists on posting them. This leads to protests and boycotts of his pickle business, with even Clara joining in. Despite the backlash, Herschel gains support from conservative groups who believe he is fighting for free speech. He is then invited to participate in a debate with a college professor about ethics. Ben shows up at the debate disguised, hoping Herschel won't recognize him. During the debate, Ben asks Herschel a question about Christian prayer, and Herschel responds by insulting the Virgin Mary, causing the conservatives to chase Herschel down the street in anger. Amid mounting pressure and opposition from both sides of the political spectrum, Herschel has no choice but to seek refuge with Ben once again. They hatch a plan for Herschel to escape to Canada, and as they draw closer to the border, Ben feels guilty and confesses to Herschel that he was the one responsible for causing all his recent troubles. Furious at Ben's betrayal, Herschel knocks him out and shaves off his own beard to take on Ben's identity. When Border Patrol agents arrive, Herschel pretends to be Ben and tells them that the real Herschel is a danger to society. In a heartbreaking turn of events, Ben is deported to Herschel's hometown of Slupsk, where he is alone and unable to communicate with anyone. Herschel continues to stay in Ben's apartment and begins to search through his belongings. He comes across some family photos and discovers a childhood drawing that Ben made, which reveals that Boop Bop were actually nicknames that Ben gave to his parents. This revelation shocks Herschel, as he had previously believed that Ben did not care about his family. Herschel now realizes that he was wrong and that Ben did care deeply for his family. Herschel travels to Slupsk. In Slupsk, Herschel finds Ben staying in a synagogue and apologizes to him for causing all his problems. They make up, and Herschel takes Ben to a place that Sarah used to enjoy. There, Herschel reveals that Ben's problem with Boop Bop was not that he wasn't skilled, but that he was afraid of letting his family down. They discuss starting a new pickle business together, one that can pickle more than just cucumbers. Herschel loves the idea, and the two head back to Brooklyn. They visit Sarah's grave and pray together. In the end, during the credits, Ben puts on Yentl for Herschel, who develops a crush on Barbara Streisand. That's it for our quick rundown of An American Pickle. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the movie and what you thought of it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more exciting recaps, and I'll see you in the next one.